Hello and welcome to Bibliothesia. Today, the book we're going to be reading is called The Rainbow Fish, and it's one of my favorite books. And it's a beautiful story about sharing the gifts and talents that you have. So how we're going to do things is, before I read a story, we're going to do a nice deep breathing exercise. Then I'm going to read the story, and then we're going to do another deep breathing exercise as a way of saying goodbye. So we do the first one as a way of saying hello and welcome, and then we're going to read the story, and then we're going to do a second deep breathing exercise, and that's our way of saying it's been wonderful spending time together today, and until next time. So doing the deep breathing exercise for today, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to inhale for 4 counts. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hold it for, and then we're going to blow it out like you're pretending you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. You're going to be blowing out. So that was my demonstrating how it goes. So let's do it for real this time. Ready? So we're going to inhale for 4 counts. Let's inhale for 1, and inhale deeply, 2, 3, 4, and now let's hold it for and now exhale out through your mouth like you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. Good job. And the whole purpose of doing the deep breathing exercise is to remind you that you are safe right now in this moment. And it lets your body know that you are relaxed and that you are calm for this moment in this time. So thank you so much for joining me today to read The Rainbow Fish. And look at this cover. Look at it. It's so pretty. So in the beginning of the story, the rainbow fish has scales that are shiny, and up here, I think that's called a fin, but people who fish will probably go, no, that's not a gill or a fin or whatever it's called. And then there's glitter on here, and then, here, and here. So this is the rainbow fish at the beginning of the story, and it's by an author by the name of Marcus Pfister. So it's Pfister, but the P is silent. English is such a weird language. So it's Marcus Pfister who wrote the Rainbow Fish. So with that, let's get started. I love this story. It's such a beautiful story. And here's the first page. And here's the rainbow fish glittering away and swimming. And let's turn the page and see what happens. Ooh, and here's a smaller version of what we saw on the cover, The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. And there's the fish with all the beautiful scales and the rainbow scales as well on his body, or her body, and seaweed plants underneath. There's water all around the rainbow fish. Oh, let's see what happens. So we're turning the page. And on the first page it says, a long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. Wow, look at the beautiful scales. The beautiful silver scales. Oh, they're just so beautiful, and they're silver all over his body. Let's turn the page and see what happens next. Oh, and on this page, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 littler fish, and they're looking at the rainbow fish. There's also a shell that's like orange and like lighter orange. There's a closed shell, and it's like greeny turquoisey. And that's underneath the first fish that's closest to the rainbow fish. And then underneath the fourth and third fish, which are like green and purple, there's this like yellowy sea flower. And it's so pretty. And here's what this page has to say. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. Come on, Rainbow Fish, they would call. Come and play with us. But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. And here is the page that I just read. And see how all the fish are here, and they're looking at the rainbow fish who just glided past. And glide means to gently swim past. Let's look what happens on the next page. Oh, look at this. So this is the next page, and it has a little fish with bubbles coming out of its mouth, looking at the big rainbow fish, who also has bubbles coming out of his mouth. And this is what this page has to say. One day, a little blue fish followed after him, the rainbow fish. Rainbow fish, he called, wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many. I wonder what the rainbow fish will say. Let's flip the page. Let's turn the page and see what happens. Well, this is what is on the next page. Oh, it looks like the rainbow fish is on one side and there's bubbles coming out of its mouth. And it looks like fishtails, just the fishtails. So I wonder if those fish are swimming off. But let's read and find out what happens. This is what the rainbow fish says. You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are? Cried the rainbow fish. Get away from me. Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was upset. He told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the rainbow fish. They turned away when he swam by. I wonder how the other fishes are feeling. Well, if I were one of the other fishes, I would feel upset, and I'd also feel really shocked that someone spoke that way. After all, they had so much, and they wouldn't share. And I'd also feel really hurt. But that's just how I would feel. Let's see what happens on the next page. Look at that. The rainbow fish looks like he's talking with a starfish. And look at this starfish. The starfish has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And look at all the beautiful coloration in the picture. But I wonder what the rainbow fish will tell the starfish. Let's find out. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day, he poured out his troubles to the starfish. I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me? I can't answer that for you, said the starfish, but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you. Now, in looking at the starfish, that is what I would call a really wise starfish, because the starfish didn't have the answer, but instead of giving the rainbow fish an answer which the rainbow fish would want to hear, the starfish knew that it didn't have the answer for the starfish, so it recommended for the rainbow fish to go and speak with someone who might have an answer. I wonder what's going to happen next. Let's turn the page and find out. Oh, this is so interesting. Look at this. I guess the rainbow fish swam out to the wise octopus. And there's the rainbow fish. And it looks like there is, oh, what is that called? I think that's coral. Looks like it's a peachy colored coral. And there's some sea snails, one there. And there's a beautiful turquoise crab. And look, do you see that? It's 2 eyes, and there's 8 legs of the octopus. There's 8, and the octopus is in a cave. And the rainbow fish is looking at the octopus. And the rainbow fish will want to fight. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm so excited. And so very curious. But here's what this page has to say. The rainbow fish found the cave. It was very dark inside. It does look very dark inside. And he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, 2 eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. So that's what happens here. I'm wondering, what is the octopus going to say to the rainbow fish? Let's turn the page and find out. Oh, look at this page. It has the rainbow fish swimming close to the octopus, or it could be that the octopus came forward and met the rainbow fish. There's little bubbles coming out of the rainbow fish's mouth. And let's look. See? That's what's happening here. So let me read what happens between the rainbow fish and the octopus, and what the octopus will share with the rainbow fish. I'm so curious. This is interesting. I have been waiting for you, said the octopus with a deep voice. Oh, let me do that again with a deep voice. Deep voice. I have been waiting for you, said the octopus with a deep voice. The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy. What do you think of that advice? Let's turn the page and find out what happens next. And here's the rainbow fish. Here's the rainbow fish with all its glittering scales and bubbles coming out of its mouth. And so the rainbow fish still looks exactly the same. But I wonder what the rainbow fish will have to say to the octopus. Let's find out. This is what the rainbow fish says. I can't, the rainbow fish started to say. But the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never. How could I ever be happy without them? Oh, that's what the rainbow fish's words were in response to what the octopus asked him. I wonder where the story will go next. Well, let's turn the page and find out. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. It's a different scene. The water doesn't look quite as deep, and there's the rainbow fish and the little blue fish that we saw before. And there's some ocean flowers, and it looks like there is a lobster, a red lobster, on the floor of the sea. Let's find out what happens next. Suddenly, he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please, don't be angry. I just want one little scale. The rainbow fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. It sounds like the rainbow fish is actually thinking about what the octopus's words and advice were to him. And I gather because the rainbow fish has so many scales on his body that he thought, hey, I'll just give one. Let's see what happens next. Let's turn the page. Oh, look at this. It has the rainbow fish. The rainbow fish took one of its scales, one of its silver scales, and it looks like he's handing it to the little blue fish. And there's sea flowers, weeds, not sure what they are, and more coral here. But I'm really curious as to what happens, so let me read to you what happens. Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. I'm so excited to read this. Thank you. Thank you very much. The little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling. Peculiar means kind of strange, kind of different. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. Sounds like maybe something was changing inside the rainbow fish. And definitely the little blue fish was so happy. Let's see what happens on the next page. Let's turn the page. Oh, this is interesting. Let me show you. So here's the rainbow fish right here. And it looks like this blue fish has a scale. Oh, this one doesn't. And this one does. Oh, it looks like any others? No, not yet. It looks like the rainbow fish has given away more of his scales. Oh, and there is that little blue fish right there. Oh, and he looks so happy. Oh, so let me read. The little blue fish whisked through the ocean with his scale flashing. So it didn't take long before the rainbow fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales left and right, means he gave away lots of his scales. And the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at last felt at home among the other fish. Sounds like he is now feeling happy. And the other fish are feeling happy. Let's see what happens on the next page. Let me turn it to find out what's happening in the story. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so neat. So every scale, every fish has a scale, and the rainbow fish, which had lots of silver scales before, only has one silver scale left, but he still has silver here and here and here and here. But all of the other fish also have scales. Let me read what it has to say. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very, very happy. Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said the rainbow fish, and, happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. Oh, that makes me feel so happy inside. And here's the last page. You wouldn't believe what it is. that. Oh, look at that. There's the rainbow fish, and he's happy. So that, my friends, that, my little darlings, is the rainbow fish. It's one of my most favorite stories in the whole wide world. I just love its story about if you have a very special talent, then it's your duty and responsibility to share it with other people. This is my first YouTube video, and my special talent is I love working with children, and I love reading stories because reading stories really opens things up. And that is why I also called the name of the channel Bibliothesia, because biblio is book and thesia is to bring to life. So I'm going to be bringing to life lots of stories, and thank you so much for joining today. And now it's time to put the rainbow fish down where he'll be nice and safe. And it's time for us to do our last deep breathing exercise. And that's just for today. We will meet again next time and do some more deep breathing and some more stories and then some more deep breathing. And I'm also planning on introducing some jokes, telling jokes, because when you tell jokes, the body laughs and relaxes, and when it does, it's also a way of signaling to the mind that you are safe right now and your body can relax. You can be more present in the moment. So do you remember how we did that deep breathing exercise before? Well, if not, let's do it again. And I forgot to say one thing last time. And it's when you are blowing up air into your tummy, you're pretending like you have a pretend balloon inside your tummy, and you're going to make that balloon bigger and make it as big as possible. But don't worry, it's only a pretend balloon, and you're not going to get hurt in this process. So, ready to start? Let's inhale and make that pretend balloon bigger for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for And now pretend you're blowing out birthday candles or lots of wind is coming out your mouth for 8. I feel more relaxed. I don't know about you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you've liked what you've seen and you want more stories, please come back. Please tell all your friends. Please tell your mom and dad and your grandma and your grandpa and your auntie and your uncle. My goal is that everyone, when they watch, they sit together and they realize now it's time where we can sit together and hear a beautiful story. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.